So, dear students, let us continue our class. Um, from the step where we completed in the last class. From there, let's start. And here I'll give you one by one questions, and we'll discuss the solution to this one. If you find your solution before me, then please do let me know what answer you got, and we will proceed accordingly. Okay, so let me share the screen with you. And once you have a look into the screen, please give me a confirmation that you are able to hear my voice clearly and able to view the screen properly, dear students.
Yes.
Okay, here is the first question. Question is, the midpoint of the line joining the points minus 10,8 and minus 6,12 divides the line joining the points 4, minus 2 and minus 2, 4 in the ratio what? So, means in simple terms, the question what it is asking is something like, what is the midpoint between minus 10,8 and minus 6,12? So suppose this is the line segment. That is, here is the point A with coordinate minus 10,8. And here is the point B with coordinate minus 6,12. Now, what is the midpoint? The midpoint is this. So it is very easy to find the midpoint of AB. That you can find it out, midpoint of AB. Now, the question is that the midpoint of the line joining the points minus 10,8 and minus 6,12 divides the line joining the points 4, minus 2 and minus 2, 4. So, 4, minus 2 and minus 2, 4 is somewhere. So let's take something like this. This is the point D with coordinate 4, minus 2, and this is the point E with coordinate minus 2, 4. What you need to find, dear students? We need to find that ratio. That means CD is to CE. That ratio we need to find it out. Okay, and let's see how we can find it out. So, the midpoint of midpoint of A and B, that is the coordinate of the point C, is very easy to find it out. What is the coordinate of the point C? Coordinate of the point C should be, x coordinate should be minus 10 minus 6 divided by 2, 8 plus 12 by 2. So that implies what? Minus 6 minus 10 minus 6 minus 16 by 2, that is minus 8 and 10.
So is it B?
I'm sorry?
Is it 2:1 external?
Very good. It is D option. I appreciate your answer. Very good. So now, as we do not know, I appreciate that you answered, but the way to approach is that suppose that point C, whose coordinate is minus 8, 10, is intersecting the line segment D is to E in the ratio of M is to N. Then how we can find minus 8? So, minus 8 we can find something like this, that M into minus 2 from that section formula, M into minus 2 plus N into 4 divided by M plus N is equal to minus 8. And if you solve this thing, dear students, what you get? You will get that m by n is equal to minus 2 by 1. And as it is negative, then you can say that it is, divided externally. Okay, and the negative sign says that it is an external division. So we can say that the point D is the correct one. I hope it is clear. You got this absolutely clear.
Yes.
Now let me go to the next one. This is question number 2, dear students. And question number 2 says that the image of the center of the circle x square plus y square equal to a square with respect to the mirror image x plus y is equal to 1 is what? Okay. So the way to approach this question, dear students, image of the center of the circle. What is the center of the circle? X square plus y square equal to a square. It is 0, correct? It is the origin. So if we take this coordinate axis, this is origin, this is x, this is x dash, this is y, this is y dash. Dear students, I am going to solve this particular question in 2 different methods, and you will see that you can take the decision by your own which method is very efficient. Okay. First one is just without remembering any formula, what is the conventional method we can do. The center, our prime concern is that the center is here at the origin. Okay, with respect to the mirror image, x plus y is equal to 1. So x plus y is equal to 1 is a straight line, something like this, dear students. This is x plus y is equal to 1. Both x-intercept and y-intercept is actually 1. So that means if the straight line intersect at the point x-axis at the point A, so coordinate of A is 1, 0, and if it intersect the y-axis at the point B, means if the line x plus y equal to 1 intersect the y-axis at the point B, then coordinate of the B is actually 0, 1. Okay, and then what happened is that if you think about the image, what is the nature of the image? So the O will be actually looked at somewhere here, O dash. Suppose, or we can, let's give a different name called, suppose O will be looked at the point P. And what is our task, dear students? Our task is to find the coordinate of the point P. That is what is our task. Now, to find the coordinate of the point P, the steps what we can follow is something like this. The first one, what you can do, dear students, is that we know, suppose let's assume this particular point, that OP, where it intersect at the this straight line x plus y is equal to 1 be Q. Then obviously Q is the midpoint of AB as well. Q is the midpoint of AB, and Q is the midpoint of OP as well. Correct or not? Okay. Now, as Q is the midpoint of, Q is the midpoint of, AB. Okay. Then what we can do is that we can find the coordinate of the point Q. So what will be the coordinate of the point Q? Is actually 1 by 2, 1 by 2. Then what we can do is that, then if we consider, if we assume that the coordinate of the point, if we assume the coordinate of the point P be x1, y1, then sorry, what happened to the digital pen? Okay, oops, working properly. Okay, let's assume, let me use a different color. Suppose the coordinate of the point P be x1, y1. Then Q is the midpoint of OP. So what we can write? We can write 1 by 2 is equal to that x coordinate of O, that is 0, plus x coordinate of the point P, that is x1, divided by 2. So from here we get the value of x1 is equal to 1. And the other way you can do it is that, that y coordinate, that is 1 by 2, that is equal to y coordinate of the point origin, that is 0, plus y coordinate of the point P, that is y1, divided by 2. And from here we get the value of y1 is equal to 1. So the coordinate of the point P becomes 1, 1, and we get the correct option as option D, none of this. Now, dear students, what I was telling is that we can use a different method. Okay, and if you remember this method, that what is the coordinate of a reflection of a point, given point, with respect to a given straight line. If you remember this, just give me a second. That reflection of a point with respect to a straight line. That if you recall this particular formula which we discussed during our theoretical discussion, and also available in the online learning platform, all the video lectures and YouTube as well. So what it says, dear students, let P alpha comma beta be a point and ax plus by plus c equal to 0 be a straight line. Let Q gamma comma delta be the image of the point P alpha comma beta due to the reflection about the straight line ax plus by plus c equal to 0. Then we must have the following relationship. Now if you remember just this relationship, then you can find the solution very efficiently, dear students, without drawing any diagram, whatever I've done here. How? So the point here is that here's the point P is 0, 0, means that 0, 0 is reflection, we need to find it out. And what is the equation of the straight line? X plus y equal to 1. So x plus y minus 1 is equal to 0. And suppose gamma and delta be the reflection of this point P 0, 0 with respect to the straight line x plus y minus 1. Then this relationship, if we write it down, then what we will find? Gamma minus alpha, that is gamma minus 0 by a is 1, that is equal to delta minus beta, that is beta is 0, by b, that is 1, that is equal to minus 2 into a alpha, that should be 0, plus b beta, that should be 0. Okay, plus c is what? Minus 1, divided by a square plus b square, that means 1 square plus 1 square, that is 2. Correct, no? So from here what we get? Gamma by 1 is equal to delta by 1 is equal to 2 by 2, that is equal to 1. And from here we can get the value of gamma is equal to 1 and delta equal to 1. Hence the coordinate of the reflected point is the 1, 1, which we get this thing. But the advantage is that if we remember this particular formula, it is very efficient. And sometimes you get the question, you get the equation of a straight line which is not as simple as x plus y is equal to 1. Sometimes you get, a difficult, equation of a straight line. Its orientation is different, and point is not origin. It could be a different point. Then you'll find more values of using this particular formula, what I, describe later. Okay, dear students, so now let's proceed to the next question. Next question will be available to you in another few seconds. So this is question number 3, dear students. So the question here is, if P 1, 2, Q 4, 6, R 5, 7, and S A, B are the vertices of a parallelogram PQRS, then which one of the following is going to be true? Dear students, to approach this kind of problem, what are the fundamental things you need to take care that I'm going to tell you. So the first and foremost thing is something like this, that as it is, these are the, different, coordinates of a parallelogram. Okay. The property we can use is that in a parallelogram, diagonals cut each other at a middle point. If you recall, that property is actually going to help us to find that solution very efficiently. Okay, so let us first construct that parallelogram, dear students. Okay, and maybe you learned this property of parallelogram, that diagonals of a parallelogram cuts each other at the at the middle point. Okay, in your standard 7 standard or 8 standard, but it is going to helpful here. So coordinate of the point P is 1, 2.
So is it 3? A equals to 2, B equals to 3.
Very good. You are correct actually. So Q 4, 6. So here it is R, that is 5, 7, and this is S, it is A, B. The convention, dear students, is that always follow a counterclockwise way of giving the name of the vertices of a any geometrical object. So I started with P, then go Q, then R, then S, like this. Now what is that? There are two diagonals. So let me draw the diagonals in different color. So PR is the diagonal, and another diagonal I draw in the blue color, that is SQ is another diagonal. Now, though it doesn't exactly look like a straight line, but you understand it is a straight line. Suppose, let's define their, the intersection point is T. So T is the midpoint of PR. Then what we can say, dear students? We can say the x coordinate. So when we consider the T at the midpoint of PR, T is the midpoint of PR. The moment we say this thing, then what is the, let's assume that, okay, no need to assume about the coordinates. So let's, if T is the midpoint of PR, then what will be the coordinate of X and Y coordinate of T? So it is 1 plus 5 by 2. That is 1 plus 5 by 2, comma 2 plus 7 by 2. So that implies, it is 5 plus 1 by 2, 6 by 2, that is 3, and 7 plus 2 plus 7 by 2, that is 9 by 2. And also T is the midpoint of SQ. That implies what? That implies T, its coordinates should be A plus 4 by 2, comma B plus 6 by 2. Correct or not? That implies, so from here what we can say? Both are the midpoints, no? So these we can club now. So what we can say? We can say that A plus 4 by 2 is equal to 3 and B plus 6 by 2 is equal to 9 by 2. So from here what we get? A is equal to 6 minus 4, that is 2. By looking into it, A is equal to 2, we understood that either A or C is going to be correct. But which one, exactly, for that we need to find the value of B, and we get the value of B is equal to 3. So A is equal to 2 and B is equal to 3. Hence, we get the correct option as option C. Okay, dear students, so now let's proceed to the next question. The point P is equidistant from A 1, 3, B minus 3, 5, and C 5, minus 1. Then PA is equal to what? Okay. So to approach this particular problem, dear students, the way we need to approach is that, just a minute, let me get back to the question. Yeah. A point is equidistant from A, B, C. So from this statement, as it is equidistant, what we can say? So suppose the point A is here, it is 1, 3. B is here, that is minus 3, 5. So this is AB, line segment AB, and what is CD? Suppose this is the point C, and its coordinate is 5, minus 1. So now, if a point is equidistant from all these 3 points, what does it mean? Equidistance from all these 3 points. So, if we find the perpendicular bisector of AB and perpendicular bisector of AC, they will intersect. Correct, no? What is the perpendicular bisector of? So perpendicular bisector of, so let me draw the AC also. Correct. Now, perpendicular bisector of AB is this line, and perpendicular bisector of AC is this line. So then this point, if you find, is equidistant from A, B, and C. Na? Okay. So what I'm saying is that if we take this particular point, this point is P has to be this point. So we need to find the equation of, just a minute, let me draw it properly. Yeah, correct. This drawing is, we can in fact, let me draw the perpendicular bisector of AC, something like this. Something like this. So the green line is the perpendicular bisector of AB, and the blue line is the perpendicular bisector of AC. Then the point P has to be the intersection of these perpendicular bisectors in order to have their equidistance from the points A, B, C. Correct? Now, how to find this coordinate of this point P? So let's assume the coordinate of the point B, P be alpha comma beta, and perpendicular bisector of AB, we say this is equal to, suppose LM, and perpendicular bisector of AC is at ST, suppose. So what is equation of LM? Equation of perpendicular bisector, equation of the perpendicular bisector, of AB is what? So that perpendicular bisector of AB must pass through the point which is the midpoint of AB. Suppose it is passing through a point called, let's take, a point called, we already took PAPC. So let's take Q1. So what is the point coordinate of the point Q1? 1 minus 3 by 2. So that is minus 1, comma 3 plus 5 by 2, that is 4. So the point Q1 passing through the point AB, that is equation of LM. You may think, sir, why we are doing the perpendicular bisector? This question may come to your mind. If we construct the triangle ABC, then the the perpendicular bisector of their sides intersecting at a point, and that point is known as the circumcenter. That means if we construct a circle which passes through all the 3 points ABC, then P will be the center of that circle. So definitely PA should be equal to PB should be equal to PC, because they are the radius of this circle. So that means I am meaning this thing. Obviously this distance will be same, na? That PA should be equal to PB should be equal to PC. So that is why it is important to have the the intersection of the perpendicular bisector. So how to find the equation of LM? So equation of LM, it should be y minus 4 is equal to m. What will be m? Suppose let's take m1 into x minus minus 1, that is x plus 1. Now how to find m1? The slope, that m1, which is the slope of the line LM, that is a perpendicular bisector of AB, definitely will be perpendicular to AB. So that means if we find the slope of AB, and that if we multiply it with m1, that should be equal to minus 1. As you know, the product of the slopes of two perpendicular lines is minus 1. So what we get, m1 into what is the slope of the line AB, that is 5 minus 3 divided by minus 3 minus 1. Minus 3 minus 1, that should be equal to minus 1. So 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 by 4 minus 4, so minus minus would cancel 2, so m1 should be equal to 2. m1 should be equal to 2. So from here what we get, dear students, y minus 4 is equal to 2 into x plus 1. Y minus 4 is equal to 2 into x plus 1, and if you simplify it, so what we are going to get is that 2x minus y plus 6 equal to 0. 2x minus y plus 6 equal to 0. That we given equation number 1. In the similar manner, we can find the equation of that blue line, that is equation of TS, which is a perpendicular bisector of the line AC. Now how to find it out? So we write it down here. Equation of perpendicular bisector of AC, that is equation of TS is, it passes through the midpoint of AC. So let's assume the midpoint of AC as Q2. Then what will be the coordinate of Q2? It should be the 1 plus 5 by 2, that is 3, comma 3 minus 1 by 2, that is 1. So 3 comma 1. So coordinate of the point Q2 is 3 comma 1. Is 3 comma 1. So it is passes to this point. So y minus 1 is equal to, let's take m2 is the slope of the line TS into x minus 3. Correct? Now how to find m2? m2, which is the slope of the line TS, is perpendicular to the line AC. So the product of their slopes has to be minus 1. So that means m2 into the slope of the line AC, that we can find minus 1 minus 3 divided by 5 minus 1 minus 1 minus 3 divided by 5 minus 1, that should be equal to minus 1. So from here what we get, so minus 4, you get minus minus got cancelled, so minus 4 by 4, so m2 is equal to 1. So what we get, dear students? So we get y minus 1 is equal to x minus 3. Y minus 1 is equal to x minus 3. So that implies what? That implies that x minus y minus 2 is equal to 0. X minus y minus 2 is equal to 0. So that we give as equation number 2. So we kept two equations. First one is that 2x minus y plus 6 equal to 0 and x minus y minus 2 equal to 0. Dear students, the solution to these two equations gives you the coordinate of the point P, because alpha beta satisfied by both these equations. Correct, na? So that means what? We can write from here, let me use a different color. So from here what we can write? From here we can write 2 alpha minus beta plus 6 equal to 0, because we took that alpha beta as the coordinate of the point P. And also we get alpha from this one, we can write alpha minus beta minus 2 equal to 0. Now we can make this is plus, this is plus, this is minus. So we get 2 alpha minus alpha is alpha. Alpha plus 8 is equal to 0. Hence we get the value of alpha is equal to minus 8. Correct, not, dear students? We get the value of alpha is equal to minus 8. So fine, alpha is equal to minus 8. And the moment alpha is equal to minus 8, then we can find the value of beta as well. So not from here is not required. We know that alpha minus beta minus 2 is equal to 0. Alpha is equal to minus 8. So this implies alpha is equal to minus 8 minus beta minus 2 is equal to 0. So from here we get the value of beta is equal to minus 10. Correct? So we get the coordinate of the point P. So coordinate of the point P is become alpha minus 8 comma minus 10. And what we need to find? We need to find the value of PA. And what is the coordinate of A? A is 1 comma 3. So coordinate of A is 1 comma 3. So now it is very easy to find the distance PA, that is equal to square root of x coordinate of P, that is 1, minus y coordinate of P, x coordinate of P, that is minus of minus 8, that is plus 8 whole square, plus 3 minus minus 10, that is 3 plus 10 whole square. So this is equal to square root of 81 plus 169. 81 plus 169, if you simplify, you will get it as equal to 5 into root 10, and eventually we get the correct option as option D. Dear students, I hope you got it. Any difficulty, please do let me know. Okay, so now let's proceed to the next question. So this was question number 4. Just a minute. This is question number 4. And the next question, what I'm going to give is the question number 5. And that will be the last question for today's session. So here the question, dear students, is that, the midpoints of the sides of the triangle, the midpoints of the sides of the triangle uh, are D, E, and F. Then the vertex opposite to D is what? So better to construct the triangle first. So let's give the vertex name as ABC. That is a conventional name, dear students. And D, E, F are the vertex, are the midpoints of the triangle. Suppose this is the point D, this is the point E, and this is the point F. And whose coordinate we are aware of? The coordinate of D is given as 6, 1. Coordinate of E is given as 3, 5. Coordinate of F is given as -1, -2. Now, according to the question, we need to find the vertex opposite to D. That means we need to find the coordinate of A. Now, if we assume the coordinate of A be x1, y1, and that of B, we need to find, by the way, x1, y1, as simple as that. And the B is x2, y2. Okay. B is actually x2, y2, and C is x3, C is x3, y3. Then what we can write, dear students? They are the midpoints, right? That means we can write is that x1 plus x3 by 2 is equal to, or x2 plus x3 by 2 is equal to 6. Correct? x2, let's start with x1. So what you can write, x1 plus x2 by 2 is equal to minus 1. That means x1 plus x2 is equal to minus 2, and y1 plus y2 is equal to minus 4. Correct, dear students? Similarly, this is one set. Another set will be that x2 plus x3, x2 plus x3, that should be equal to 12, and y2 plus y3, that should be 2. That is the second set. And similarly, x3 plus x1 is equal to 6, and y3 plus y1 is equal to 10. So these are the three sets of equations, and we need to find the value of x1, x2, and x3. Now what we can do is that let's add that all the x related equations. That means what I wanted to mean is that let me use a different color. So x related equation is this one, and this one. If we add all of them, then what we are going to get? 2 into x1 plus x2 plus x3 is equal to minus 2 plus 12. So it is minus 2 plus 12 plus 6. So from here what we get? From here we get that x1 plus x2 plus x3 is equal to, it is 12 plus 4, that is 16, it is 8. x1 plus x2 plus x3, we are getting 8. Now out of that, x2 plus x3 we are already aware is 12. So that implies that x1 plus 12 is equal to 8. So what we get is that we get x1 is equal to minus 4. Dear students, we get the x coordinate of the point as minus 4. That means, but just by looking into the 4 options, we understood either it is option A or option B. Now which one? For that we need to find the y coordinates. In a similar manner, we can add all these y related equation, means this one, and this one. So if we add all these three equations, so what we are going to get? 2 into y1 plus y2 plus y3, that is equal to minus 4 plus 2 plus 10. Correct, dear students? So that becomes 8. So from here what we get is that y1 plus y2 plus y3, that is equal to it is 8 by 2 is 4. Out of that, y2 plus y3 we can get it from here, that is 2. So that implies y1 plus 2 is equal to 4, and that gives y1 is equal to 2. So minus 4 comma 2 is the required coordinate, and hence we get the correct option as option A. I hope you got it very well, dear students. And that is the last question for today. So with this, I would like to conclude the class for today. And in the next class, that is on Monday, we will continue practicing more questions from straight lines and proceed further. With this, I would like to conclude now. Thank you very much.